Tammy playing as the Netherlands, I think is the highest ranked country I've never played before. I can't think of any time I've gone past like the first few years of the Netherlands. That's going to be somewhat interesting. In terms of starting technology, I think we're going to go for good old railways. That's always a decent opener, given that we do have all the tier 1 text research, so no need to go for stock exchange. I think a big plan of this run is going to be trying to join the Zollverein. So we're going to start out by improving relations with Germany, as well as getting a trade agreement, because we do have just enough volume of trade routes at the start of the game to form that, so that's going to be very nice. Now, since we're going to be trying to join the Zollverein, normally you'd want to, like, conquer some stuff, I think, in, like, Africa or whatever, but I think I'm going to be focusing on subjugating some South Americans at the start, because if we get too much of a population, that will increase our leverage resistance, which is going to make it much harder to join the German bloc. You can see right now we have 614. If that was, like, 800 or whatever, it would be much harder for the Germans to get us into their bloc, so we want to keep that as low as possible. I'm even thinking about trying to pass free trade for that, although we do need to get a market liberal landowner for that, which might be a little bit difficult because grain prices do seem quite high right now. Also, and a very important thing for the Dutch is going to be to reduce autonomy on the Dutch East Indies immediately. The reasoning for this is, as we can see here, they're currently gaining a ton of liberty desire from this 0.33 from relative prestige. Colonies do not have a relative prestige modifier, so once we reduce to a colony, um, yeah, there we go. You can see that that relative prestige modifier is gone. Also, they just have this minus 0.2 for forever, which means it's going to be basically impossible for these guys to ever try to break free, because that's going to be destroying their liberty desire. We're going to go up on taxes, down on government wages, like normal, go iron frame construction. Wood does look to be fairly expensive, so I'm going to start out by building some wood. And then I think we're going to go invade New Granada as our first invasion. Or actually, France is likely to get involved in that. Maybe Venezuela would be good. We want someone that no one is too likely to get involved in. All these countries have pretty high likeliness for someone to join in. Not ideal. I think we'll go for an interest in the Andes, so we can probably go for a war on Bolivia. That should be always a pretty good target. And we'll put some more interest in Europe. That's always good. Once our interest appears, we are going to be going after Bolivia. Unfortunately, we're going to eat the first the first month of no infamy decay, because I just can't really see anyone that would be too good to attack in our starting interest. So we're going to need to wait for our interest to appear in Bolivia. You get ammo engine tech spread is actually really nice. So let's go mechanical tools as our first tech instead. Now we should be able to attack Bolivia for a make protectorate play, and yeah, it looks like no one who we care about is likely to get involved in this. We're also going to be doing, do we want to do the transfer North Peru? No, let's not. The advantage of transferring North Peru is you get 2 minor powers instead of 1, because normally Peru being under Bolivia will not count as a minor power because Bolivia is, and so you can't have a subject of the same rank as you. But if you transfer them, then you get that. But the Zollverein already has huge mandate generation, so we should be fine without that. We'll just try to add in some more goals to get the Bolivians to be more likely to back down, maybe. I'm going to declare some rivalries with some of the states in south of Prussia, Germany. I guess we can also do on Mecklenburg Strelitz. And then I'm actually going to start improving with more of the great powers, because there isn't too much of a reason not to. And having, good relations with the British should let us take over something like Venezuela a little bit easier without having to worry about any interventions. Oh, our army has no general. We should put a general on it, and then we can start mobilizing, because that'll make the Bolivians a little bit more likely to back down. Ecuador offers us support in exchange for Liberate South Peru. Yes, we're going to be taking this. This might seem bad to liberate South Peru. Or wait, actually, this is going to maybe force us to liberate Amazonia. Let's not do this. Normally you'd want to do this, but since we already liberate Amazonia, which is a war goal we really don't want to enforce, having a country on our side might force us to enforce that. The reason that liberating South Peru wouldn't be that bad is when you protectorate Peru, it unifies all of the Peruvians into one country. And so as long as you have North Peru, you're good. Literally the second I end that recording, we get a Bolivian back down. That's crazy, bro. That's so funny. Yeah, that's, I guess, useful. So improving relations. We have a bit of an iron shortage. We're actually importing 100% of our iron. We'll try to import some more from the Prussians because we do want to have more economic dependence on them to make them more likely to give us a power block embassy, because you can see a huge minus from cohesion if Netherlands joined right now. We're running a pretty huge positive balance, so I'm going to build more construction. Looks like we are running a tool shortage, which is not great. We should start importing tools on import prio. I did put wood on export prio, which made the price go up a bit, but I just kind of want that tariff income and, to make our logging camps a bit more productive. I wonder if the theoretical meta is to go back and forth between having tariffs on and off all the time, so that your trade routes will downsize one, upsize one, back and forth, and so you keep getting money from tariffs that you don't really deserve. That would be interesting. Guess we'll declare on Argentina next. I'm just going to be trying to stick to protectorating people until we get into the Zollverein, unless we kind of run out of good protectorates. Of course, we will add on some extra war goals here of revoke claim to make them more likely to simply back down, because that would be significantly easier for us if they will just back down. That's exactly all of our maneuvers. Okay, Argentina backs down as well. Very, very nice. It's unfortunate that there's no iron in the Netherlands. We're gonna have to invade Belgium to get our first little bit of iron, and then maybe Hanover as well would be good. Once we start invading, like, the eastern bits of France, that's where the real iron is. I think we just hit 50 relations with Prussia. Yeah, we did. Okay. So you get our defensive pact with Prussia is going to be very nice. Yes, we can get Power Block Embassy. This is what we really wanted, because that should now give us enough leverage to join the Zollverein once the leverage ticks up. Yep, 211 leverage prediction. Very nice. You need at least 200 to join a block, of course. It is assuming that they would actually let us in. Yes, they will, because you get like 1 for every 2 leverage advantage they have or something. So it should be like plus 40 or something. Okay, we have exactly enough acceptance to get the Prussians to get an alliance with us instead of a defensive pact. We're definitely going to go for that. Oh, yeah, we have the London conference in a little bit here. We'll see what the great powers. Okay, looks like everyone is favoring Dutch claims, except for one country favored Belgian claims. That's incredibly lucky. I'm like 99% certain that there's no effect from like relations or anything. I think that if we didn't get a good outcome, I would probably refuse to sign and just try to go to war with Belgium. But since we are going to just get favor Dutch claims, I think that we will ratify the Treaty of London, because I don't think it would really make too much sense not to. But I think like if they did 24 points or whatever, we probably would not ratify it. Yeah, okay, let's ratify the Treaty of London. I wonder when does our truce run out, actually? 1st of May, 1839. So yeah, they made it so there's no you can cheese it to get a war declaration on Belgium. We'll see if, yeah, Belgium hasn't accepted the outcome yet. Okay, they do. This is really weird where they, like, make you take on their debt, but the AI never has any debt, so it doesn't even mean anything. Maybe they should make both AIs start with a little bit of debt so that the favor claims isn't quite as strong. Because we do just expand quite a bit here into Dutch Flanders, which is very nice indeed. Unfortunately, we don't get quite a connection to our subject in Luxembourg, but hey, their GDP, yeah, their GDP quadrupled from that. Went from having 8 iron mines to 23 potential iron mines. Huge upsize for Luxembourg here. Unfortunately, Bolivia has given Peru increased autonomy. I really hope they don't demand independence or whatever. That would be very bad. I just realized that accepting the London Conference actually doesn't increase the truce time. It just makes everyone guarantee. It is kind of weird that not ratifying the treaty makes it so that not everyone guarantees Belgium. Also, it's weird the Netherlands doesn't get guarantees. Like, why should Belgium be allowed to attack but not? Wait, yeah? I'm pretty sure Netherlands doesn't get any guarantees, which is a little bit strange. But anyway, we are going to be trying to attack Belgium as soon as people start revoking their guarantees. Probably even if France is their guarantee, we can probably beat them with the help of Prussia. I'm pretty sure an alliance, I mean, we can still call them in, even though they're guaranteeing their independence. They're going to attack in Chile, and it's scared for a little bit, but that's actually them being likely to join us. So, good to invade Chile. Oh, and we immediately get an offer for Prussia to give us military assistance. That's interesting. They only have a 29% chance of accepting if we ask them, but they ask us. Love to see it. I wonder what Britain wants from us. We don't really have any need to call them in, but if they want a trade agreement, yeah, we'll definitely take a trade agreement with Britain for them to trade the war. It's a little bit of a no-brainer. We could have gotten an alliance with Britain instead. That's, maybe we should have done that instead of getting an alliance with Prussia. I don't know. We could get a defensive pact. That would be, very strong. Yeah, let's go for a defensive pact with Britain. That means they're no longer allowed to join Belgium, so all we really needed is for Austria to revoke their guarantee. Apparently, I completed a lobby opportunity. I don't know exactly what, but I assume it was either the defensive pact or trade agreement with the British. So for a little bit, I was very confused about why we were actually gaining leverage on us for the Zollverein, because I thought that the British thing was actually going to delete us. But I realized it's because that we actually have the most leverage, or we have second most leverage right now, actually, as Netherlands. It's not the British. I was looking at this and I was thinking we have so little leverage, but we actually have this amount of leverage. So that explains why that was able to be. And now we can join the Zollverein, which should be good. That should finally, or that should increase our GDP a little bit. Or no, it decreases our GDP, but it'll make our economy better. Um, our market prices and stuff will be significantly better. We could instantly jump up a little bit closer. We went from like 3.1 back to 3.3. A little bit better. Hopefully better prices will help out our economy over time. In fact, the Dutch East Indies had an increase from that instead of a decrease that we had. So now that we're on the Zollverein, I'm going to put some interests over here in Southern Africa because I do want to try to invade the Boers and stuff. Um, Now I've got something a little bit embarrassing. We started the game with colonial exploitation, and I just forgot this when I started recording clearly. Because, I'd look at the start for a little bit before I started recording, and I realized we had colonial exploitation, but I just forgot to start any colonies. Luckily the British haven't quite finished Kenya yet, so we'll be able to get into Kenya, and I think that's where we're going to want to try to get into. We don't have quinine though, so I don't know if we're going to be able to create a large enough thing over there. We'll wait for our interest to appear, and I'll try to put a colony immediately in Kenya. The British are expanding very slowly right now, so hopefully we can manage to expand. Looks like they are going for this tile, which is going to be least useful for cutting us off here, which is nice. Now that we're in the Prussian market, we can remove Luxembourgish market control, and that should now be good because we are in the Prussian market, so they will be connected. Looks like, yeah, their GDP spikes now that they're actually in a market. It spikes again. 611K. Yeah, they're now above a GDP per capita of 1. Nice. I'm gonna invade Gaza so we can go for the Transvaal and stuff. I'm thinking we might leave Orania alive as our protectorate, because I do kind of want to do the trick where you conquer South Africa for your Boer subject, have them form South Africa, and then use their claims on the British Isles. I haven't done that in a minute, and that would be kind of a fun thing to do again, I think. Okay, I've annexed Gaza. Gonna go for Transvaal next. British can't side against us because we got defensive pact with them, so we're good. Luxembourg sided against us. I wonder how much infantry it is to conquer them. It's only 1.5. The thing is, once we conquer Belgium, we'll just be able to form the Low Countries and annex them immediately. It's really just not worth it. We're just gonna call Prussia in to destroy the Luxembourgians. Yeah, I'm gonna try to protectorate the Oranians instead of what you'd normally do of like conquering these guys. We gotta do the good old South Africa strats. Okay, Orania just backs down. Nice. Wow, the GDP is 1 million. That's a lot. Wow. Oh yeah, they have 16 goldfields. Maybe protecting them wasn't so good of an idea. 16 goldfields is a lot, but we gotta do it. It's gonna be a little bit interesting compared to the normal thing. Let's go for a port on Lorenzo Marx. Our budget is really not looking too good. We might want to try to pause construction for a little bit after we build this port. We do actually have lots of authority, which we could be using on some more stuff. Yeah, services consumption tax. Could use some greener grass campaigns, I suppose. That would be pretty good. Yeah. So we triggered Springtime of the Peoples, and you get this reaction movement. Oh, that's a lot of turmoil. Where do we have so much turmoil? Is it just from like South Africa? It must just be from there, pretty much. Yeah. Wow. Um. So what states does this want to take? Dutch Flanders and Dutch Guyana. Okay, so this revolt doesn't really have any teeth or anything. It's tiny. We don't have too much to worry about, at least. But that is just a little annoying. Okay, looks like our investment pool is just kind of huge, and we can't really afford too much government construction, so I'm going to build up a ton of construction sectors here. We'll keep the one tooling workshop, I guess, because it's like half done. And then we're going to try to invest in enough construction sectors to start draining this investment pool, which is very large. It'll probably be mostly investing in the Dutch East Indies, which is actually like pretty nice for us because, that means we can get the reinvestment boost without having to get the GDP increase, which would usually lower your reinvestment multiplier. Turns out getting this reaction revolt is like the best thing ever because we can call France and Austria. Oh, we need to unpause. Yeah, France and Austria to our side, and then we can invade Belgium. And since they're on our side of the play, they can't join against us. So that's going to be kind of nice. Good ol' invading Belgium. Nice. Easy Belgium. My Belgium now. I'll put some enlistment efforts down and we'll do some conscripts so we can make sure that we can defeat the Belgians. You're gonna need a pretty big army in order to defeat Belgium. You know, they do have, I think, national militia or whatever, so they can usually, you know, they have pro army, but they have a pretty big army, so it's pretty tough to defeat them. So, you know, conscripting will be nice. Giving out the investment rights, you know, it's not great, but I don't think there's going to be too much of a problem. Usually the AI doesn't really invest in you too much, and we don't have privatization on our buildings yet, so there's not really that much they're going to actually do with the investment rights, probably. Maybe they'll build in the Dutch East Indies a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Okay, we've occupied Flanders, just in time for them to hit 0 war support. Okay, and then we occupied Wallonia as well, so that's that war done. We can now form the United Netherlands. These states, are they incorporated already? They're, yeah, we don't have enough bureaucracy. Okay. We'll start incorporating Wallonia, and then let's just form United Netherlands. Now we've got a big bureaucracy deficit, but we can just build some government administrations to try to solve the bureaucracy deficit a little bit. We got a pretty big construction malice. Let's take off the enlistment efforts. Let's put down some new decrees. We do want to move our greener grass campaigns and stuff. I'm going to do road maintenance, resource industry, greener grass in like these states. These are usually, I think, your best states. Wallonia is usually the best state for United Netherlands. We have a market liberal landowner from Orania, apparently. I don't know how he just appeared in our country. I guess he had some sort of event. But that's going to be convenient. That means we can start not passing laissez-faire. We have people with investment rights in us, and we're too small of a GDP. Let's pass free trade, though. That's always a nice law to get through. Can we trigger the corn laws? That would make this a little bit better, because then we'll get the 10% laborer and whatever else loyalists. So that would be nice. See, can we trigger it or not? We get to 25% price. Does that get us there? Let's see on the Monday. No. Dang. Okay, well, unfortunate. We tried to trigger corn laws. We don't get to get those 10% laborer and peasant loyalists, I guess. Russia's gone with decent principles this game. Militarized industry and construction. Construction is pretty good. You know, 10% state construction efficiency, and you get the construction company, which is a pretty solid company, although, you know, it's not an amazing company compared to like low pop, considering you need to do a full principal for it, but, you know, it's definitely a nice company to get if you do need the principal, which, I mean, we're going to have the principal because Prussia picked it. Probably will be swapping out police coordination as first once we take over the block, which we will be taking over the block at some point for sure. We are about halfway to passing Prussia in prestige so far. Apparently this random culture has become obsessed with opium. I just got an event telling me that Transvaal got some minus SOL and plus mortality because of that. Dang. Apparently we're already taking another reactionary movement. You know, the funny thing is I'm pretty sure like this exact same thing happened in my Belgium run. Which is still a little bit weird that both Belgium and Netherlands were getting giant reactionary problems. Okay, we got Construction 3. I think we're going to go for the United Construction Conglomerate. Wait, oh, we can't establish it because we don't have enough of the resources or whatever. Yeah, we don't have enough of these things. We need at least a level 10 of one of these. Okay. Well, we're going to try to work on establishing this because if we can, that'll be a very nice company. Even though, actually, we have Society Anonymy John Cockrell. So actually, the construction company is kind of terrible for us. I didn't remember we had this. Okay, we need 5 steel mills in Wallonia. I think that was Wallonia. Let me make sure. It's either. Okay. Let's go for 5 steel mills here. Need 3 more. That'll be good. Okay, we passed free trade. A little bit nice. I don't think I've ever seen a Romanian uprising from Austria. I just kind of didn't realize we got this uprising in Africa. Should probably go deal with that. That would probably be good. Guess we're going to expand construction more because we can kind of just afford it. We've got a pretty large investment pool, so more construction it is. We get the revolution vanquished. You can either take 25 legitimacy or 10% loyalists. I think the 10% loyalists is almost always the better option, at least when you've got decent legitimacy. So we're going to take that 10% loyalists, cuts our radicals in half, and like triples our loyalists, which is nice. We're running a really high reinvestment right now due to our colony over here in the Dutch East Indies, I assume, at least that's why it is. If you look at our GDP ownership, I assume, yeah, we own huge portions of the Dutch East Indies. So our GDP is like sort of effectively like 20 million. So we're able to have a little bit of a bigger reinvestment than our reinvestment multi would normally allow us to have. Might even, wait, we can request investment rights from the British? Why in the world is this such a high thing? Oh, we have opportunity. Oh, mm, we definitely want investment rights in the British. Yes, that's always good. Um, what could we go for here? Maybe go mechanized workshops. Decent tech. Might want to just start investing in a ton of opium plantations over here in India. Those are usually pretty good for your investment pool. Well, building opium has been incredibly profitable. We got our reinvestment up to 170,000, which is very solid. Yeah, it has not been long, and we're already up to 180,000. This is perfectly balanced. Building an ode is not a good idea because it has negative construction malices. We need to build in places that don't have huge negative construction malices. That would be good. Hey, we should go for public health insurance. That's always a good law to try to get through. You know, well, we actually broke the UI, but yeah, I get our 9% success chance on that. It's nice. Zero stall is very good as well. Well, we're nearly out of information. We could actually go for Zanzibar here. That, oh no, this is in the French market and they're guaranteeing their independence. Okay, we're just gonna go for Ashanti, I guess. The only downside I can see with this is gonna lower our reinvestment multi a little bit, which I do not like. But you know, it's fine. We got 218,000 reinvestment, which is kind of crazy right now. Let's establish society, autonomy, John Cockrell. The United Construction Conglomerate might be a slightly better company, but the reason we're establishing this is once we take over the block, we can replace the construction principle. Um, for our second company slot, what do we want to go with? Wood or logging? Let's go, I mean iron or logging. Let's go iron. 240,000 reinvestment is a lot. So something is broken. Company headquarter in Null State is not a thing. Doesn't let us reestablish the company because we disbanded it too recently. I'm so confused. Somehow we only have 2 company levels in our whole country, I'm pretty sure, which, no, we don't. We have 2 company headquarter buildings, and then 7 actual company buildings. I have no clue what these company headquarter buildings are and how they appear. Very confusing. 290,000 reinvestment? That's a lot. Wow. Our reinvestment is finally starting to drop as our GDP does get a little bit too big. You know, you really got to have your GDP be fairly small to maximize reinvestment. I don't really feel like releasing a million subjects to try to keep our GDP small. Although, I mean, maybe it's optimal. Like, Wallonia alone has 8 million of our GDP or whatever. I kind of wonder, like, would our economy be better if we, like, lower this to increase reinvestment? Reinvestment's currently like 240K. If we lower this, we lose like 2 million GDP. It jumps our reinvestment, but I don't know if it's probably not worth the GDP drop, but it's a kind of an interesting thing to think about. Maybe that would be worth trying to like wait, our GDP is 24 million now? That is no way that's right. Yeah, okay, jump back down to 22. I'm gonna start building some universities in Flanders. Bologna, we definitely want to keep on just like the industry stuff, I think. So building this in Flanders. Could build it in the other states, but the state has more peasants. Innovation is going to be nice. You know, we're running a pretty solid positive balance when we aren't constructing with government. So I figure why not build some universities here? Okay, we should be able to reestablish this company, right? Oh no, we don't have enough available company levels. Okay, well we're gonna nationalize some levels in Wallonia so that we can reestablish the company. Okay, we should be able to reestablish Society Anonymy John Conquerel, and hopefully this time the company will not just randomly vanish. I'm gonna cancel the foreign investment rights from France. Oh, apparently Austria seemingly already canceled the rights or something. I have no clue why we didn't have to cancel from Austria. The evil reactionary doesn't like me passing cultural exclusion. Dang. Well, it's killing our legitimacy, so we're going to need to stop passing it so the reaction movement stops being big mad. Because I cannot afford to have like 0 legitimacy. Looks like prop tax would be a huge increase in our money. We really want prop tax. Yeah, we're gonna put the trade union in the government and we're gonna start doing that. That's like 40,000 more income is huge. Bruh, we're out of legitimacy. Why? Why does the game do this to me? Why is this government all of a sudden no longer legitimate? I have no clue. We're gonna have to go to like minimum taxes or second to lowest taxes, just so that we can keep trying to pass prop tax. Oh, okay, we get it through. Nice, 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 nice. That's very good for our budget. I guess we can now kick the trade unions out of government. Well, we kind of like have to. Um, Trying to land in Benin. Unfortunately, we did get cut off by the British in Kenya. Also, I am preparing a bigger army because I do want to invade the French soon with the help of the Germans. I think we probably have around a big enough army at this point, although actually the French have so many conscripts. I'm gonna invade France. It'll definitely go well. You know, we got a huge army of 130 soldiers. What could possibly go wrong? Nothing could possibly go wrong since we have the great British and stuff on our side. We're gonna be flipping up all of our things to general staff. Well, you know, we can't upgrade all units. Okay, we already have, I guess. Um, we're gonna be calling in some people here. We really don't want Spain to join the war if possible. That would be ideal. We'll call ally on Prussia, and then take treaty port on Carnatic for Britain. Um, yeah, we want to avoid adding stuff until Spain declares neutrality because Spain has a pretty significant army that we definitely do not want to be against us in the war. Let's see if we can. We really can't get that many conscripts, but we'll get as many as we can, I guess. Maybe we should do some mobile artillery. I think there's going to be enough to fill combat with. Yeah, we're just gonna wait for Spain to declare neutrality, hopefully. We'll grab these 25 guys and we'll try to do some naval invasion shenanigans with these guys, probably. That seems good. Oh, maybe Spain being in the war actually isn't too bad because it does give Great Britain a front. But Spain has declared neutrality anyway, so we are going to conquer Alsace-Lorraine, as well as get some French war reparations and liberate Occitania. That seems good. Okay, the war has begun. I'm going to begin a naval invasion on Lower Egypt so that we can hopefully stake the Egyptians out of the war. French are trying to push into us, which is going it's going too well for them. We don't like this very much, that we're losing all of our battles, pretty much. Very bad, very bad. We should be winning much more, given that we are a 3v1 coalition against France. France is just so strong militarily. We have around a 23 advantage. I'm thinking taking my troops off the front might be a decent play, because that will give them the advantage, hopefully making them try to push us. Yeah, that's a huge offensive battle from them, which is, you know, throwing the game to try to attack. We all know attacking is losing, and defending is winning. We got some fleets stopping us from doing our naval invasion. Not ideal. I'm gonna put my guys on the front, and we're gonna start attacking like crazy. Their advantage is only, it's very small, but most importantly, they only have 109,000 troops on the front, so our troops is going to be enough. Also, we're currently power struggling for the Zollverein, so that's kind of nice. So we can replace some of the mandates. Hopefully Prussia won't just leave the second we take it over. We need their acceptance to be, of joining, to be over minus 100, I think, for them to be willing to stay. So we'll see if we can manage that. Looks like we've got a 46 advantage right now, 40. That's pretty solid. You know, we trapped a bunch of their troops in that one battle for a while. We really should make our armed forces happy if possible. Can we do that? Yeah, that's gonna be good. Get that patriotic fervor going. Okay, didn't go too well. We're gonna go back on the defense and hope that the French will waste more of their troops after we go back off the front. Oh, Egypt is out of the war. We're gonna send my troops onto the front, I guess, and try our best. We need to push, 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 and then try to like land in Normandy or something with the stack. I hope we can do it. Push, push, push. What's our advantage? It's 40. Solid, solid. Please actually win. How are we losing so bad? No. Yeah, our pushing is not going too well, but maybe we can get a landing on Brittany or whatever. Looks like, oh, don't have quite a, oh no, that's our org cap. Okay, good, good, good. We'll be landing, I guess, then. And with that, we can, oh, bruh. Oh, okay, we actually still land. That was close. They almost managed to get troops back in time. It's like, how are we losing all these offensive battles? They had like so much fewer troops than us. It doesn't make any sense. Except it also makes perfect sense, but like, you know, it's kind of confusing sometimes. How close are the British and stuff to capping? -73 and -75. Okay, well, let's go. Oh, the naval battle stopping us from arriving instantly. That's annoying. Please win the naval battle so that we can actually go onto the front here in Brittany. Okay. There's like no troops stopping us from just landing Normandy. Let's go Normandy. Go, go, go. We gotta get there before they can guard it, or else we're gonna have like a 100% naval invasion penalty. But you know, if we just ignore that, okay, they're bringing some guys back, so let's stop with that then. That's not gonna work. Surely we can just push through here into the French capital. Surely, surely. Let's go. We've taken over the Zollverein. Nice. How's Prussia feeling about being in here? Okay, they are definitely not gonna leave. That's good. We're gonna try our best to push through France. Battles aren't going amazing for what you'd think, given we have a 60-something advantage, but I think it's fine. Yeah, we got like 50 more war support till people are dropping out of the war. That's solid. We're winning our first battle for Paris. Let's go. We should strategic objective Paris. That'll probably be good, given that we basically need Paris in order to enforce, because liberate Occitania. We have 60 advantage and 50% occupation. Come on, come on. The battle for Paris. I believe we have, yes, no, we don't have enough. So this battle isn't actually the final battle unless there's like a ton of cav. Can we make this general a rapid advance general maybe? I doubt it. Oh, we actually can. I don't know if that affects this battle though. Looks like it did not affect the battle. So we're still missing 5% occupation to get in. Battle for Paris. Okay, that is the battle for Paris. Okay, we win. 400 troops left. And we're finally in Paris. Also, we have a research. That means we got steel frame. Is good. We go like civilizing mission next, I guess. Okay, we just got enough war support drop for them to be willing to accept our peace deal. Propose the peace deal. A great expansion of the United Netherlands into the French Low Countries and Alsace-Lorraine, the two most important French states. And of course, France has also been lost their south, which is, you know, pretty significant blow to France. Yeah, we should change up the mandates here. I'm gonna replace this with advanced research, which will let us get a bit more maximum innovation and also tech spread and stuff. So that's usually pretty good. And then we'll try to replace construction or something with food standardization. And stop passing National Guard. What's our reaction movement doing right now? It's kind of strong. Kind of want to go cultural exclusion here. I think we'll go for it. We'll see how that goes. It's always a good law to try to get so we can stop having these revolts going, especially. Revolts are really annoying. Okay, yeah, we can't do this. The reaction movement's turning towards 100 activism. We gotta get the industrialists in government. I think it's time to start trying to pass laissez. Oh, but we got the labor movement. Oh, but it's only gonna trend towards protesting. We're fine. We'll go laissez-faire. Stall chance is a little high, but I don't think we can get the landers or can we get the landers in government? Oh yeah, we can. Okay, let's do that. And that will increase our success a little bit. So we lost our market liberal landowner, which yeah, that probably just kills our chances of passing this. A 50% stall chance is really bad. Yeah, we gotta stop passing it. Saxony just left the power block, unfortunate. Why is the average annual wage for our servicemen and stuff so ridiculous? What is our government administration wages? 12? 12? I'm gonna go bankrupt. Not literally, but like, why is the game charging me so much for my stuff? I need to incorporate everything. Because based on the normal wage, which is like the average wage in your incorporated states, and that's clearly just way too high right now. It's so sad that our reinvestment has dropped by like 2.5x just because we don't have the reinvestment multi anymore. So sad. There's a flood hitting some of our states right now, which is very annoying. Yeah, it's absolutely destroying the French low counties. -17% Mappy, also -6% Wallonia. All this stuff, not very ideal. You know, I'm gonna try to do it past. You know, who cares about having to fight a reaction movement? We'll be fine. Sure, we can just call pressure to our aid and we'll be fine, surely. What could possibly go wrong? Nothing could possibly go wrong. We really want to get cultural exclusion. Hopefully that'll mean we'll start getting some mass migrations, because we're yet to really get that many mass migrations, I'm pretty sure. We don't really have any right now. We just have some migrants coming from various countries in our market, so be better if we could get some real mass migrations going here. So it's going to take over quite a few of our states, but only 87 of our military, which is about half. So with Prussia's help, should be very winnable. It'll clear out our millions of radicals, and it will help us pass cultural exclusions. So I think it's pretty fine. It's definitely going to have 100% activism, yeah. We got a civil war here. For some reason, that the power struggle here is only lasting 9 months instead of 12. I don't know why, but that's not a good thing for sure. Um, we've got huge ideological differences with Prussia, making them not want to support us. We might want to try to change that if possible, because yeah, it's not going to be very good. Definitely want to be able to call Prussia to our side. Yeah, we need to try to win this war ASAP. Let's not transfer something to Russia. Let's call ally on Prussia and on Britain. And we need to try to win this war as soon as possible. I don't know if they have any troops outside or any territories outside of Africa. I mean, outside of Europe. Because they do. So we're going to need to try to get some troops that are down here if possible. Looks like we can't send troops down there, but we'll send troops as close as we can and try to be ready to naval invade down there. Because we're going to need to try to enforce this war as soon as we can. We really want to get that enforcement done ASAP on this so that we don't lose the power block. Losing the power block would be pretty annoying. We have 3 more mandates. I'm gonna swap out this one for food standardization, I guess. Food standard is pretty nice. You know, you get like 1 extra SOL from that. And of course you get some more pop growth as well. For some reason we have like a tiny advantage. Why are we losing so badly? This revolt should not be that strong. It's only got 4,000 power projection. What are Britain and Prussia doing, bro? This should be the easiest civil war ever. But they're just throwing. They're throwing, bruh. What is this scam? Yeah, we're gonna be occupying South Africa at least, and then we can try to do a naval invasion into Holland or something. Okay, they're still on that front. Okay, now we start the naval invasion. Looks like the front advantage is going in our favor slowly, but not nearly as fast as we would want. What's the time? We got 3 more months to win the war. Okay. Looks like 50 advantage is solid. And start trying to push a lot more now. Well, I think we're losing the block. Let's try this. Does this stop the power struggle? I don't think so. It's so close. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. We don't get to keep our block, unfortunately. But we did manage to stop some of the mandates, so it's not too big of a loss. Although Sweden might just instantly leave after the block gets taken over, I think. So that's, not ideal. Yep, Prussia has succeeded in their power struggle. Okay, past cultural exclusion. Nice. We are actually losing. Is not ideal, but we're not going to lose fast enough. They're going to hit capitulation desire in a second. That's crazy. The Civil War was that bad. We had so many allies and stuff. Wait, what? What? Okay, yes, okay, it's just the credit limit not showing correctly. I was like, we're in so much more debt than I would have thought. But it's fine. We're just in a little bit more debt than we were pre-war. So it's not too bad. We're in 1,000 bureaucracy debt, though, for some reason, so... Oh, it's because these things are on simple organization. What? Standardized filing system fixes our economy. We're now running a solid balance. We can upgrade some stuff back to steel frame or whatever. Get ourselves going on construction again. Looks like we need railways in Wallonia. All's good. I'm gonna start trying to pass laissez-faire again now. It's got a pretty good success chance. Oh, I'm so confused by why our GDP was so low, but it turns out like everything is on the wrong PMs. Why are you trying to use crude tools? This is so bad. Yeah, if we just do something like this. Wait, what? Did it seriously try to swap back that? What is wrong? Oh no. Universities are on scholastic education for some reason. That's not ideal. What else is wrong here? Instead of urban centers, maybe? No, that's not profitable. But we now have the mandates to replace food standardization. Kind of, it'd be kind of reasonable to take vassalization. I wonder how many subjects does the Dutch East Indies have? Because, annexing them is something I don't want to do. They've got, like, 7, so we could have, like, 200 or 300 authority or something from subjects if we went vassalization. Or we could just go, like, colonial offices. I think for now we're going to leave construction, and we're going to wait until we like actually have colonial offices 5 or whatever to decide what we're gonna do. Interest rate gets cut in half since we are on laissez-faire now. Very nice, very nice. Almost doubles your reinvestment, but we're gonna quickly lose that as these opium plantations privatize away. Big sad. No more opium from the British anymore. Or no more opium reinvestment for now, probably. I don't think at least. Yeah, we shouldn't be able to keep that very likely. We get a Prussian radical revolt, which is unfortunately a major power, so it's not really going to be able to give us too much. We can probably get a bankroll or something from Prussia here, though, so that's, like, decent. Lippe wants market control because Prussia has lost that territory. We could get a bankroll. Get a transfer on Brunswick or Hohenzollern or an obligation. I think the bankroll is going to be the best. Got a German unification war going on here. I guess I'll take an obligation from Prussia to join them. We're not going to help them, though. I kind of hope Prussia loses because, yeah, Germany would be a pretty strong country we'll have to contend with eventually because I do kind of want to take some of their states at some point. Although, actually, I want this sort of white peace is what I really want to happen because if we get a white peace, then eventually we're going to subjugate Prussia and then have that subject to launch the unification play, or we'll attack Austria and force them as a war goal for German leadership, and that would be good. We're staying surprisingly stable around 200,000 reinvestment. Oh, wait, this is actually an interesting play. I just realized what's going on. So, the British revoked our investment rights in India, which means our investors cannot privatize those buildings. They are forced privatized, but our investors can't buy them. Only British investors or whatever can buy them. Which means that we can sort of just get some free reinvestment from things overseas and we can't lose it from our own financial districts. Which, I mean, that's actually incredibly strong. There's probably some ways you could, like, abuse that in multiplayer, because that effectively, like, doubles the strength of the hyper small reinvestment strats, because otherwise you have to go, like, interventionism or something, which only gives you 50% government dividends reinvestment. It looks like the war is very likely to get a white peace. Oh, Saxony and stuff don't really want a white peace, but I'm pretty sure that eventually this war will white peace. It's going to take a really long time, I think. Yeah, everyone's willing to accept a white peace now, so I'm going to capitulate, and hopefully they will do a white peace. Okay, now Bavaria and stuff don't want a white peace. Dang. That's annoying. Britain offers us mutual foreign investment rights. I don't think we want to take that. I think that that's going to be kind of bad. We should maybe form a trade agreement, but I kind of want to invade Britain soon for our little bit of a, South African colony in Britain. That would be nice. I'm gonna start going for compulsory primary school. Looks like the industrialists are reformers as well, so this won't make them mad or anything. Get the trade unions out of being -10 state construction efficiency and onto +5 workforce ratio. Workforce ratio is super nice. That's a nice modifier to begin. Our GDP growth recently has been really solid. We've just hit 90 million GDP. Very nice to see. We're actually the #1 world economy because China's economy has collapsed since I last checked. They're at only 86 million, which is pretty bad. I don't know what Britain's doing, just randomly owning Yunnan. Oh, they actually own Burma as a protectorate as well, so I guess it is connected. But the reason that they do conquer China is because Yue had a secession from Portugal, and so now there's no longer a treaty port here. And if there's a non-treaty port state that's owned by someone other than China, then great powers are willing to take Chinese states. It's like the industrialists have become reformers, so this is no longer passing. Yeah, this is not going well. Okay, what do we want to try to pass? I mean, secret police is decent. Yeah, let's go secret police. That's always a decent law. I really like a Republican industrials. Let's exile and hope for a Republican. Okay, we didn't get one, dang. Unfortunately, the universe has forced my hand, and we are forced to, abdicate because Charles Dickens is an agitator. I didn't see this. This probably occurred quite a bit earlier in the campaign, but I just checked our agitators, and we have Charles Dickens as an agitator. So we're now going to abdicate the throne with this guy. Now we have two different options. We could become a parliamentary republic and try to get him in normally. But we're gonna do this the cooler way, which is we need to get out of all battles and stuff. Also, we need to stop passing secret police so that the radical movement goes away. You should go away soon. Oh, this reduces our infamy by 10. Well, that's going to be useful. Okay. But first, you need to finish this naval invasion. Okay, good, good, good. Now we're going to retire all of our commanders. Oh, they don't. Yeah, now they realize that that thing is done. We need to not retire Charles Dickens. But yeah, everyone else needs to go. They need to be fired. And this is because a random general will be picked when we abdicate. Um, so we're gonna get guaranteed liberties, which is kind of a nothing law, but you know it's fine. All that really matters is we don't want to get those guys negative IG clout. We can get guaranteed liberties, and most importantly, it claims Alexander, but then they instantly die because the code is written wrong, and we get Charles Dickens as our ruler, which is amazing. Cautious, literary, persistent, the best character ever made. He's gonna rule our country for like 20 years minimum or something. Maybe not minimum, but like it's very likely he's gonna rule our country for at least 20 years. It's gonna be very nice to have cautious and literary. Now I do want to do a bunch of wars against the UK, but before we do that, we do want to start working on multilateral alliances as our next tech, I think. We need to do something for this -10 infamy. I think invading Oyo would be good. Great Britain is likely to protect Oyo. Okay, never mind. Let's go for, like, Zulu? Yeah, let's go for Zulu. And then we can use this, which they'll hopefully accept, giving us -10 infamy. We're waiting to see if they accept or decline. Looks like they declined, because it shouldn't have taken them this long to answer. Yeah, they rejected our suggestion, unfortunately. Oh, the foolish Americans. You fools. You really don't want to give the British anything. Transfer Dutch Guyana is not that much. You give them that, because Britain would help a lot in this war. How much army strength does America really have? That's so many potential conscripts. Hmm. I mean, giving them Dutch Guyana is like nothing. Is there gold here or anything? There's a little bit of gold. Let's just give them Dutch Guyana. Yeah, we'll give them Dutch Guyana, I guess. And then we'll also call ally on America. I mean on Prussia. Cause, you know, I want to take a certain state from America, which you might know, the Dutch used to own. This state. And it also has this great monument here, the Statue of Liberty. Conquer New York. We're also gonna get some generals for our army. You know, that would be a somewhat good idea to have generals for your army, some would say. Should probably remove Charles Dickens from the military. I don't think that the military can kill you, but, you know, just to be safe, we will keep him out of the military. Declaring a couple rivalries against France, Austria, Russia, Spain. Gives us a little bit more influence. We can run that plus 25% infamy decay. Very nice, very nice. Oh yeah, the Americans don't have any war goals against us, so we are going to need to try to land them quite quickly in order to make sure we can enforce. Luckily, they have nothing in the Mexico strategic region, so we should be able to land that fairly easily. Okay, we're landing in the Rio Grande, except they got a naval battle right in time before we landed. Unfortunate. Okay, we're into the Rio Grande now. We're gonna ship more of our military into there, I guess. Yeah, you guys can go land California, I guess. I love getting 110% of the Dutch East Indies convoy. Very nice, very nice. You know, 110%, 60% from the power block, which is caused by 40% from internal trade and 20% from the just base of a trade league. And then you also get 50% from colonies. So you get 110%. Oh, the Americans are literally not defending DC seemingly. So we're just going to go for a landing on New York and probably swap it out for DC last second. Okay, we're about to land, so I'm gonna swap this out for a landing on DC, and yeah, the Americans are doomed. Yep, we're into DC, and we should be able to just hold DC, because the infra here is usually way too low for them to get big enough battles to kick you out. Yeah, there's only 9 infrastructure here, so we should be good. We can propose a peace deal here with America, conquer New York. Very nice state, you know, we can start building the Statue of Liberty, which will give us 25% migration attraction on our whole country. Oh, Charles Dickens is ambitious as well, so he's reducing the cost. Oh, we can't use violent suppression because we are guaranteed liberties? That's annoying. Oh, there's a Javan uprising going on. We need to put an end to that real quick. We definitely do not want Java seceding. Oh yeah, it's time to cancel our defense pact with the British, because we're going to be going to war with them pretty soon. Start damaging relations. We need to get fairly low. The plans is to conquer all of Cape Colony, conquer one state in England. The reason we're conquering a state in England is going to be because you can grant the Cape Colony, or we can grant Risat a state up here, which will give them an interest here, so that in our next war, we can force them to use their return CBs they'll have on the rest of England, which is going to be very nice, because that'll save us like 100 infamy or something that we'd spend on conquering all these states, although if we want to annex the subject, it will cost us a lot. I hate reactionary movements. I hate reactionary movements. I hate reactionary movements. Yay. Do I have a legitimate government again, please? We're slowly sucking Prussia dry of pops with our migration. You can see their pop graph is just slowly dropping from 14.5 million peak to only 12.8 million right now, because we're getting like 7,000 immigrants per week into Wallonia right now. What in the world is France doing? What invading Russia for Pomerania, Brandenburg, and Anhalt is probably one of the most insane things I've seen the AI do. Well, what? They're just gonna lose because Britain and Russia are gonna join against them? This makes like no sense. What is the French AI doing? I checked, the Prussians haven't even declared bankruptcy. What are the French doing? It's time for the British Empire to crumble. Conquer Wales. I'm gonna set my naval things to Wenacle. And we're also gonna add in a ton more war gold against the UK here. Transfer the British Raj. Conquer Eastern Cape, or we're gonna conquer these things for our subject. Yeah, okay. We're gonna conquer a couple of states from the Cape Colony here for our subject of Orania, because it'll be slightly cheaper to conquer it for them instead of conquering it for us and then giving it to them. So we might as well do it that way, I guess. Cape Colony. Oh, did I conquer for myself that time? Oops. Well, we're gonna conquer this final one for our subject. Yeah, we did actually conquer Cape Colony ourselves. It's not too big of a deal, though. We'll liberate Ireland and take war reps as well. And that should be pretty solid, I think. I've just split off this army, and we're going to go for a naval invasion on Yorkshire. They have 16 guys defending this, so I think should be able to get in pretty easily. We'll see, but I think this should be a pretty good landing. Oh, we do need to regain a little bit of org, but that should happen fairly quickly. We'll see. How's our battles going down here? Oh, what? Our army has decided that that front isn't the important front, and it should go to some random other front. That's exactly what you want to see, except it's not at all. Well, that's not a very good battle. That's a very bad battle. Let's try to go on a landing on the Highlands. Maybe that'll go a little bit better. I'm gonna put mill wages up to high. We do want to get that extra morale recovery, I guess. Making non-forces happy would be nice. Why is every single interest group in the world so mad at us? Failed petition. Negative appeasement of political lobbies. Do we? Oh, Dutch-British Association hates us right now. That does make a lot of sense. Okay. We should, enable extra supplies. That would be good. Looks like we're pretty easily landing up here in the Highlands, which is very good. Can we get one more battle in before this? No. Yes? Yes, we're in the Highlands. Yes, we're in the Highlands. Yes, 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 yes. Push, 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 push. 176 stack from Cape Colony needs to come up here now. Okay, this is very good, very good. Slowly pushing into the lowlands. Once our 191 stack arrives, we should be significantly better for that. We're holding in our own country as well. All seems to be going pretty smooth. Move my navy down to the English Channel so they can no longer nail invade us from anything but Friesland, which should be good. Also, we're bringing in our 200 stack here, which will help out a lot. Looks like they only have one guy guarding the England HQ, so we're going to set all these guys to defense, and we're going to try to naval invade the England HQ with this army while we have the 200 stack on the front, and that should go pretty well, I think. We'll see. Do you just want to keep everyone on defense here for now? Okay, yeah, things do seem to be going fairly well. So the only problem is I do want to do a naval invasion, but that's going to result in our navy moving away from the tile, which might result in someone getting in, which is not ideal. Oh no, they have 80% occupation in Flanders. So we're just gonna, if we hold like this, we're gonna run out of convoys, maybe? I think it'll be fine. We just really want Austria out of the war, I think. Or we want these nail invasions to get canceled. Oh, the front advantage just swapped. What happened? Where are all these troops moving? Oh, there's a Spain front. What war happens here? Oh, there's a big independence war of Portugal and Aceh and stuff. Okay. Well, that's convenient for us. We will, I guess, start trying to push a bit more then. Okay, looks like they've canceled all their, or they failed all their naval missions, so we're gonna go for a landing on the home counties now. And we'll see how that goes. They only have 4 guys trying to defend against this right now. Okay, 28 guys. But still, I think we should be pretty solid to try to land. Do these, oh, they're all Austrians, and they only have 10,000 manpower, so yeah, I think we've got a good shot here. We should have a guy on offense, I guess, so that you don't get that minus 10% compared to if you have him on offense. What's oh, front spaghetti, but it's fine. Don't really want to be pushing into Ireland. This front will be good. Push through here into Lancashire. Okay, now we're going into Ireland, apparently. Fine, we'll just take out Ireland, I guess. Okay, we're winning our first battle for London. They only have, like, a couple troops there now, which is good. Well, they only have, like, 1,000 manpower and divisions there. That's amazing. Okay, we now own all of Ireland, which I guess is something. Oh, we're in London. Okay, amazing. Finally, we can win this war. Looks like they don't want peace quite yet. Austria's about to capitulate, which should change their mind a little bit about that. Yeah, next tick, Austria should cap out. And there they go. They still don't want peace, though, so we're going to have to take them to minus 100, I guess. Or we could just, like, not lib Ireland, I guess. Let's just not lib Ireland. That seems fine. Alright. We're in some war against Kazembe. Okay, let's go deal with that real quick, I guess. Nice. We managed to do that war fast enough that we didn't have any issues with running out of convoys, so that's great. We're going to have to grant Orania this state, and then they should be able to form the South Africa, or they're in a civil war right now as well, so that's why they don't have enough states yet. Yeah, we should start improving relations with our new Dominion of India. You know, this is always a very important country to have good relations with so it doesn't get infinite liberty desire. Although, I think it actually is not allowed to declare independence. I don't know if it still can't when you have it as non-East India Company and it's the Raj equivalent. I'm not 100% sure, but I still think it actually doesn't declare independence, but still, you better to increase relations with it because it's a very big subject. Um, America's attacking Britain. That doesn't seem like a very good idea. We can side with Britain for an obligation. I'll take it. Okay, we're now done with all those wars, so we can grant Orania the state of Cape Colony. And now, I believe they should form South Africa. Why are they not? Oh, they did. Okay, there we go. Now, we should be able to grant them Wales. Yep. And then in future wars, or in the next war, they have claims on all of England, as well as Ulster, because these are the English homelands. And when you form something, you get claims on all the homelands of all the cultures you have. So, we'll be able to conquer this stuff at the return CB price instead of the normal price, plus the homeland discount. But yeah, you can see all these states are only like 7.7 infamy. They're actually going to be like 6 or something with the homeland discount. Okay, we just got malaria prevention, so let's start colonizing. Let's go, big nice. The economy of Friesland just doesn't exist. Everyone in Friesland works for the government, essentially. 45% are army people. What are these laborers? They're in construction. Everyone in Friesland is a government employee. Crazy. Joshua Norton leading the abolitionist revolt. Based. We have a level 5 colonial affairs, so I'm going to swap this out for colonial offices. I'm thinking we might want to attack China soon, because, you know, we kind of have very few peasants, and, you know, there's a certain country that has a couple of peasants over here. I forgot to swap it to machine steel tools. I'm a fool. Or maybe not on all of them, because surely it shouldn't be that small of an increase. But on Flanders, at least, I forgot to swap it up. You can see the productivity on this one dropped, so I assume... Oh, rubber prices are super high now. We need to build more rubber. Yeah, let's build, let's make sure to turn on the rubber PM for automatic irrigation. And then let's build a bit more rubber if possible. That should help us out. We need to research something. We should go maybe antibiotics actually here, or feminism. Let's go feminism first into antibiotics. I think this might be the first time I've ever seen one of the Lake Victoria nations actually enact colonialism. Wow, that is extremely rare. I think it's time to go nom 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 China. China, it's time to get nom nom nommed. 4.9 infamy for Beijing. That sounds like a pretty good deal. How about you, you know, what, are they in debt? Oh, they actually are in debt. So maybe we don't want to liberate stuff, but also they're gonna back down potentially. So, um, let's add war reps, primary, and slavery in Kazakhstan. Could do some sort of liberation here. Fairly small, maybe. Conquer state. I think we want shanxi. That's always a very nice state. I just don't want to have too many wargals that are not non-primary, so they don't back down. You know. Um. Hmm. Maybe we just stick to just two states for this war. I don't know. What other states are super important from China? I'm trying to think. I think it's really just these states that are super important to get, so we're just going to leave this as our first war with China. I mean, we could get a treaty port in Suzhou, maybe. It's only 1.9 infamy. I guess we'll go for a treaty port so we can import grain from them. The USA decided into the play against us, which is not ideal, but with too much transfer Pontianak, I thought they would have wanted, like, return New York, but they just went transfer Pontianak. That is very weird. Um, we'll go, like, do we want to live the CSA? Not really. We'll just take American War Reps, I guess. That seems fine. Bring this 250 stack into the New York front, and then this 90 stack into the New England front. Beijing, naval invasion happening. How's our American armies going? Do we have them on attack? Yeah, we do. Okay. They're gonna be landing in Beijing. This war is gonna make the Chinese go into enough debt that they're probably gonna bankrupt. Which I don't know if that's going to lower their prestige enough to make them drop to unrecognized regional. Oh, it definitely will. Okay. Oh, they already are bankrupt. Oh. So, no, it probably won't. But maybe they'll... it's kind of close. Probably not, but, you know. Maybe taking the states will help out a little bit. And we'll get enough. We'll see. Instead of going antibiotics, I'm actually going to go rush a little more tier 3 production techs. We want open hearth process and steel railway cars, I think. Okay, we can make peace with China now. Conquer Beijing, conquer Shanxi, and a Suzhou treaty port. Very nice. You can start importing grain from the Chinese now. 3.7 thousand grain. Very nice. That's not actually that much relative to our grain amounts, but you know, it's nice to have. We'll start incorporating Shanxi and Beijing. I will try to put some promote social mobility decrees down here as well so we can actually get literacy up. Shanxi is one of the best states in the game. It's got 116 coal mines, 96 iron mines, 48 sulfur mines, 7 logging camps. It's got 30 oil rigs as well. We haven't unlocked those yet, though. It's also got the Yellow River for 5% Mappy, so it's an insanely good state. There's very few states in the game that are better than it. I mean, I think it actually might be the best state in the game. I can't think of a better one. I know in generalist ranking, he had Bombay as the best state in the game because it has the Victoria Terminus and some companies, I think. But yeah, or I think he had that. Let me check what he had. Yeah, he had it as Bombay in first and Beijing in second. But I think Shanxi is probably the best state without a monument in the game. It's very strong. You know, Forbidden City might be stronger than Beijing or stronger than Shanxi. It definitely depends on your country size. For big countries, obviously, legitimacy is going to be more important. But for smaller countries, shanxi is an insanely good state to build up in. Although it arguably has too many pops, which means taxation capacity is a significant problem for it. It's time to destroy the British Empire yet again. Liberate Scotland. And then return home countries. Return Lancashire. Return Yorkshire. Return Midlands. And this is where we realize we don't have enough maneuvers to finish the thing, so we'll just primary 2 of these, I guess. Okay, that's unfortunate. Next war, we'll go to the rest. I'm gonna use this army, I guess, to do a naval invasion on London. How's our push going out from Wales? Like we're going into Lancashire successfully, but the rest isn't going too well. Well, we'll try to landing into London here. Hopefully that'll go better. Well, our country's been overrun, unfortunately. But luckily it doesn't matter because we actually can't capitulate from it. Okay, we're good. We're good. Who cares about being occupied? Am I right? Except we actually need to like redirect this naval invasion to trying to retake our country because I would prefer to not be occupied. Why in the world did you abandon the front? This is so confusing. Okay, we're gonna land in Holland and we're gonna save the day. Surely, surely. Yes, we'll defeat the evil landing. Okay, that's good. Go advance front, take Friesland, and take the south again. So everything's occupied except for Geller now. Not great, but I mean, we can't cap unless they take Wales anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Okay, we've occupied London. Um, we can enforce everything except for Lib Scotland, but just a couple more weeks we should be able to enforce Liberate Scotland. Also, we've nearly kicked them out of the Benelux. It just took a little bit. Our army was way superior. It just wasn't fighting as many battles as we would have hoped. Okay, there's peace. Oh, no, they were accepting, but they don't anymore. Okay. Nice little expansion of South Africa. Very nice, very nice. British down to only 40 million GDP. Cut them in like half. Um, where did their capital move? It moved to Ulster. That's a little bit annoying. Why did it not move to East Anglia? That had more GDP and pops. What? Apparently, I actually accidentally passed racial segregation in one of those fake passes. That is a little bit annoying. Okay, apparently I cannot stop this reaction movement, so that's not great. We're just gonna have to let it fire, I guess. That's fine. It will instant incorporate shanxi and Beijing, which is a big W. Uh-oh, some of these countries are gonna join the opposition, potentially. Uh-oh, not good. Well, our army's probably strong enough, right? We got 480 battalions. What does Russia have? 132. And the revolution is like 136. We'll be fine. The capital is probably like French Low Countries or something. Yeah, that's the capital. Okay. Um, should be able to take Alsace and stuff. Sorry, someone's gonna join against us, but it'll be fine. We'll see. We can call the USA in for transfer New York. It's like Occitania is the first country to side against us. All right. And Russia sides too, but it's fine. Civil War is going pretty good so far. We're capping at like roughly the same rate, but of course they cannot, or we cannot capitulate unless they occupy our capital, and the same does not apply to them. Unfortunately, we aren't actually fully occupying these states, but it doesn't matter too much. I guess we could try to do a naval invasion with this 80 stack. That would be good, yeah. Oh, our fleet lost its admiral. Should give it a new admiral. And the reactionary revolt is finally over. We're now in a small little bureaucratic deficit, but we should be able to solve that. Just, oh, no, okay, well, it's time to build some government administrations. Gotta love this perfectly realistic system where companies pay like half of their profits to clerks and shopkeepers. It's perfectly balanced. I love my reinvestment getting cut in half by this amazing system. You know, it's truly an amazing system. You know, we'd have like 500,000 reinvestment or something if the system just worked correctly. Also, we're building a lot of government administrations, or we were building a lot of government administrations in these states. Unfortunately, they can't employ up, which is very unfortunate. What is wrong? Yeah, they are high enough acceptance to join, seemingly. Or wait, yeah, this is all they want? Or no, the bureaucrats can't get employed. Yeah, we need to get up to cultural exclusion or something, which is going to be a little bit tricky. We need a Han national movement to spawn. Have we gotten one yet? I don't think so, given that it's at like 6% for multiculturalism. Looks like the church want us to pass it though, so let's get the church and government and let's start trying to go cultural exclusion because we need the Chinese to be accepted enough. Yeah, I checked, and we do have the clerk qualifications. It's just that the other things in the building can't employ up, and it doesn't want to just have clerks employed. I'm gonna declare to liberate Ireland from the British, and yeah, they're gonna get the rest of these return CBs used against them. They're not bankrupt or anything, so they shouldn't back down as long as we had some other primary war goal, like liberate Sri Lanka or something. Doubt they'll back down to this. Surely they wouldn't back down to this. There's no way. Yeah, we got this. Um, they've got a small enough army at this point that we should be able to easily land Ireland, I'm pretty sure. Our budget isn't great right now, but that's because like we're running medium taxes right now to make cultural exclusion pass faster because I wanted to get over 50 legitimacy. Once we get cultural exclusion and we get our taxes solved, our economy should go back to not being the worst thing ever. I'm gonna naval invade Ulster, which is the capital of the British Empire right now. Okay, finally passed cultural exclusion, which should mean that our government administrations in China will start employing up. Also, we'll go up to high taxes now. And yeah, these buildings should start employing up on the 29th of June. They will try to employ up, and we'll see how amazingly that goes. It should go well because now they should have a high enough acceptance. We'll see though. 5 more days. 4, 3, 2, 1, and yes, we get some employment. Not very much, but it'll keep going up, I'm sure. Okay, proposed peace deal here. Get great South Africa uniting England, kicking the British out. The British are now exiled to Newfoundland. Not Newfoundland, the Falklands. I'm gonna go give women the right to vote. That would be pretty good. You know, give us more workforce ratio and stuff. Is always nice modifiers to have. I'm just slowly building up shanxi into a great state. You know, it's got 19 million pops, so this state should be able to get a ton of GDP. Like 80 million maybe. That's what Wallonia has, and it's got around 18 million pops. I'm quite surprised how well we're doing relative to when I played Belgium like 2 months ago or something. On that run at around this year, we had around 180 million GDP, which is a lot less, especially considering, you know, we annexed the Netherlands in like 4 years in that run. So I wouldn't think that we would be doing better in this run, given that Belgium starts the game with a way better tech. I don't really know why we're doing so much better. I mean, maybe it's the British investment rights for the opium that like really carried us. I'm really not 100% sure what was the huge improvement. Maybe I just was more aggressive with deficit spending. No, that run we have a similar debt limit. I don't know what the cause is really. Great ruler Charles Dickens is dead now. Very sad, very sad. We will want to try to get off of monarchy now probably, unless there's some other person we can maybe get in. But I think we're still on abdication cooldown, so don't think we can really get them in actually. So I think we just gotta try to go parliamentary republic now. Our money is starting to go up, so that's kind of unacceptable. It's time to build more construction. Let's go sort by lowest upkeep, of course. Dutch house land. I do not believe you that you're gonna be that cheap. You're lying to me. And that should be enough construction. Doubling our construction. What could possibly go wrong with doubling your construction, right? That always goes great, and it just doubles your GDP growth, basically. The great economic growth strategy of building in Shanxi is going pretty well, up to 340 million GDP. 40 million of it is in Shanxi, 9 million in Beijing. We had some small infra problems, but that has been solved now. So we got tons of very profitable buildings in this state. So I guess producing like a sixth of our steel and stuff. Starting to build up some tools here. Tools are already incredibly cheap in our market. Tools are almost always incredibly cheap because they are, I think, incredibly worker efficient, and they also, we have got a company for them in this case, the Society Autonomy John Cockerell. As we all know, the Rhineland is core Benelux territory, so we're going to be conquering Rhineland and then liberating Westphalia from Prussia, because unfortunately they aren't dropping to minor power or anything, so we just gotta, you know, take some stuff from them. I'm hoping that they won't be able to leave the power block, but they might be able to after this war. We'll see. It doesn't matter too much, really. Our market is so much bigger at this point that if they leave, it's just going to mean that they get destroyed. You know, we have 750 million GDP worth of countries in our customs union right now. Roughly half of that is us, and then another, like, half of the remaining is the Dominion of India plus South Africa. Spain and Russia have both joined against us, but we'll be fine. You know, we're the great Dutch Empire, the #1 great power in the world. We are unstoppable. Someone said that the British would have thought the same thing against us in our war against them, but you know, don't worry about small details of us being historically incorrect. We will win this war. We got this in the bag, okay? We passed women's suffrage. That's nice. That's going to give us a ton more workforce ratio. Next, we do want to try to go parliamentary republic, I think. Get that most legitimate government. That should have... Oh, we've got a humanitarian here. Multiculturalism. What's our Han National Movement at? Let's take a look at that. Han National Movement is at 7% support. It's trending towards 14. Yeah, maybe let's just go... Or let's check out the age of that humanitarian. He's 44. He'll be fine. Let's go Parliamentary Republic. Shanxi is up to 50 million GDP. It's getting somewhat close to passing Flanders. We're no longer really running a negative balance, so you know what that means? More construction! Looks like Prussia did end up leaving the Zollverein. Unfortunate, but kind of expected. POV Prussian economy after it left the Zollverein. We are kind of tied on this front right now. It's not going too well for us, but eventually the Russians will cap out, and by eventually I mean in like a third of a year, and then we should be able to win pretty easily after that. Okay, Parliamentary Republic has passed. Very nice, very nice. Rule leader, we definitely don't like that very much. Can we get a petite bourgeoisie cautious? We gotta look and see if we can get one of those. That would be nice. Sun Yat-sen we can invite. Oh, he's Protestant. Interesting. Wait, he's not high enough acceptance to actually make a ruler or anything. We're gonna look through and try and find a cautious here. Okay, this guy is a nice cautious we can try to get. He just needs to start pressuring the trade unionists, which they're very close to getting pressured. The movement just needs to go up in support, which it will, because it has an agitator supporting it now. Shanxi officially passed Flanders as the second highest GDP state. We can look at global GDP here. And yeah, Shanxi is second. West Bengal, Bihar, and Yorkshire, owned by our subjects, beat out New York and stuff. I'm surprised New York is our fourth highest GDP state. It's clearly grown a lot recently. As I get in some migrants, it's getting a couple migrants, but really not that many. The Dutch states are just getting completely like depopulated from migrants leaving them, and everyone in the world is moving to Belgium. It's like 170 million GDP just in the Belgian states. Okay, I'm gonna start passing multiculturalism now. You know, we gotta accept those Chinese pops. They're carrying their weight. They got, like 100 million GDP almost. Okay, peace with Prussia. Get Westphalia released and get good old Rhineland. Looks like the trade unions are now pressured by that guy, so we try to get this guy in government somehow. Doesn't look like there's a super legitimate way to do that, unfortunately. So we'll just have to, or let's see, what's our current government? This, so let's just put the trade unions in government now, then grant leadership, and then we can take everyone out for war declarations to get our cautious. And I want to reclaim the Burgundian lands, so let's go for a good old Lorraine here. Looks like USA and stuff are likely to intervene, but it's not too big of a deal. We'll be fine. What do we have return CBs on here? Random states in the Dutch East Indies area? It's not that much infamy. Nah, we're just gonna stick to here. Franche-Comté, Champagne, French War reparations. Is there anything else you want to go for? Go for those return, I guess. I want to try to keep enough maneuvers so that we can... Oh, we're one maneuver short from primarying a Liberate. Let's primary this, and then... They're minus 41. That's probably safe for no back down. Yeah, we're probably safe. Minus 41 is pretty good, usually. War with France is going pretty smoothly. It looks like we are winning most of the battles here. We should click upgrade all units just to be a little bit safe. I don't know how our Miltech is going. We can take a look at that. Looks like we are tech spreading stuff. Maybe we should just build a bunch more unis. That would probably be good. Yeah, let's build a couple of universities over here in Beijing to try to get us some tech spread. Yeah, 250 unis should be enough. Well, the advantage on the front is not good right now. We're going to have to go on the defensive and wait for the Americans to capitulate or something, because this is not good right now. Very bad, very bad. We need to just defend, just defend. We can probably defend. Let's just max out line infantry conscripts probably to be on the safe side, you know. Maxing out some conscripts should help us out quite a lot with defending. Oh, we're getting significantly more reinvestment from company headquarters than financial districts now. I wonder how much of each we have right at this point. You're around 1,500 financial districts and 2,500 financial districts. So, yeah, 629 levels of John Cockrell, and then we got 385 levels of the metal company. We got 2 levels of company headquarters, the best company of them all, really. 339 levels of the furniture company, and we got 8 levels of the munition company, which I just established. We don't really have too many good companies to establish at this point because we've kind of got most of the industries already covered in our existing companies, you know. Multiculturalism has been successfully passed. I wonder if Shanxi has become our #1 state yet. I think it's getting close. 103 million GDP. What's Wallonia at? Take a look. Oh, it has become our number one GDP state. South African abolitionist revolt took over the entirety of England. That's not very nice. Also, this France is somehow holding somewhat well, despite having like an 88 disadvantage, which is kind of unbelievable. So apparently Bhutan is owned by a subject or something because we're occupying their capital. Oh yeah, it is owned by a subject. So we need to go naval invade for that. Naval invade Bhutan. Bro, what? The South African abolitionist roll has 20,000 power projection? So yeah, we're not landing that. We're just gonna have to wait for it to capitulate, I guess. Oh wait, South Africa actually occupied like our entire, or the revolt occupied like our entire subject, so we're gonna have to go deoccupy that after we're done with this France war. For some reason, they aren't getting the effect reduced because war goals like to be lost in capitulation for these return CBs, so we're gonna have to make the French hit negative 100. Or is it because we don't have the return CBs? It's because the Dutch East Indies does? That's a little bit of a weird little quirk. But it's fine. These guys have 750 conscripts. This is perfectly balanced. Our subject is very low on war support, but you know, we have plenty of war support, so it'll be fine. I'm gonna demobilize this 650 stack because it is making us go a little bit bad balance. I'm gonna also put everything on auto expand because that seems like a good idea. Oh, the 750 stack is down here now. Does that mean we can try to land the England stuff? Maybe. This army is 37 days from being able to be mobilized. Let's move our navy back up here, and then once we got this army actually, we can go. We're landing on England. We're into London. Let's go. Where's their capital? It's gotta be somewhere here, surely. Is it actually in South Africa? That would be pretty surprising. It is actually. Wow. Well, occupying England should give us a ton of war score. Or not war score, but their capitulation speed should go way faster. When you occupy this, I wonder, are they in default? I think they should be. Yeah, they are in default. The GDP should be dropping now. Well, we occupied all of England. They tried to arrive with the 147 stack, or actually with their whole army, but they're going to capitulate next tick, and that's going to be good. Restoring England to its correct ruler, the South Africans. I'm going to get our cautious guy in government, because, you know, I'm thinking Westphalia, you don't need to exist in any of the states that aren't named Westphalia, right? That sounds reasonable. You know, you can just have Westphalia, and I can have the rest of your country. I didn't mean to primary that, but it's fine. I guess we'll primary everything. I meant to primary the war ups, but it doesn't matter. You know, we just need to conquer Westphalia, conquer Scotland, conquer Ireland, and then we'll have the greatest borders ever invented, or something. Very nice newly acquired states here. We do need to go back to having the trade unions in government now, though, so that we can invade Scotland. Luckily, we've got infinite loyalists, so, you know, swapping our government doesn't really have too much problems. Looks like Spain is just wanting to join against us in, like, any play I declare, which is very mean of the Spanish. They should just not do that. Oh, I forgot I gave the South Africans service exemption. We could actually annex them. They're only 40 infantry to annex. Oh, that is, like, more than we have available, though. So, you know, not really. We got Hartal strikes in shanxi. That's very annoying. That's annoying. Minus 50% throughput in shanxi. The anarchy, unacceptable. We're not letting the Indians just go free. Who do you think I am? A charity? No, we are not going to let the Indians free. That would be unacceptable. They must stay our subject forever. Mwahahaha. Also, we can probably peace out of the Spain war now. Yeah, they're willing to accept peace. The Hartal strikes in Shanxi have finally run out, which should mean that our economy is much better. Yeah, we're up to 690 million GDP now, which is very solid. Shanxi went up like 30 million GDP from that. It was at like 110, now it's at 145. Probably a pretty small increase just because most of our buildings already had pretty good throughput. You can see like government administrations have 50% throughput right now, but like the iron mines have 115%. Everything in the state has really good throughput. What's making the SOL map mode look so bad? It's the Indonesian miner of young Jakarta here to ruin my day by having 52 SOL. Shanxi just casually receiving like 40,000 migrants per day, or not per day, per week, making it grow like 8% per week or something, or per year. That is a pretty insane growth rate, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. Punjab is losing 30,000 people per week to migration to our country. That sounds pretty balanced. Yep, let's, the Punjabi pop graph doesn't look so good. I think I'm gonna end off the run here. We got 770 million GDP, which is, I think, very solid for the Netherlands. I think last time I've done this good in eco was maybe my Russia run, where we hit like 4.6 billion GDP by like 1910 or something, which was pretty solid. But, Russia obviously starts in a much better position than the Netherlands. I think the fact that you're able to get close, and of course, all that run fully annex China, so that's gonna be what like most of that GDP is gonna be in. Um, but yeah, it's 770 million GDP, very solid. We can take a look at the map modes and stuff real quick. This province was Laukenstein Bantu for a little bit, but looks like it's gone back to being Dutch. Ton of North Germans in Wallonia. Um, is there anything else interesting we want to look at? We can see how much of the pops here have migrated in, and 20.27 million are Han out of the 34 million pops that live here. So yeah, a solid percentage of people have migrated into shanxi, or 81.8% are Han. So like 18% are migrants. 160 million GDP in shanxi and 80 million in Beijing. Kind of funny thing is, even if we exclude our Chinese states, we still have a better GDP than my Belgium run, which I think is pretty surprising. I really expected the Belgium run to be better, considering they start with a way better tech, but somehow the Netherlands has ended up being better. So yeah, anyway, goodbye!